We reserve a few minutes Sunday morning to suggest news or trends in the world that seem to be predicted by a literal futurist reading of the Bible. We're always careful to use recognized, reliable sources for news. There's a lot of sensationalism regarding Bible prophecy, and we don't want people to discredit what we're talking about because we're using weird sources. We're not saying the things we report are the fulfillment of any prophecy, only that they are things you'd expect from reading the Bible. In the revelation of Jesus Christ, the Apostle John saw that one day the citizens of the world would be identified by, and they would conduct all their business by, something in or on their forehead or hand. That prophecy seemed ridiculous for centuries. Many even thought it might just be a metaphor. But not anymore. There are any number of biometric technologies fully developed right now that could be implemented globally pretty much overnight. What's that, you're asking? How can facial recognition work when we are all wearing masks? Good question. An article posted on biometricsupdate.com was titled, Innovatrix adds mask detection to face biometrics platform, and SmartCone launches COVID tracking solution. Here's some excerpts from this article. Innovatrix has added a mask detection capability to its biometric facial recognition platform called SmartFace, which also detects if the mask is properly worn, covering the wearer's nose. The company says the new feature can send instant notifications or deny entry to people without masks. The new SmartFace feature is intended for use at access points for venues, enabling easy enforcement of safety and security measures. What's that you're asking now? How can I be sure my rideshare driver is wearing a mask? Ride-sharing companies like Uber are all using facial recognition and automatic face mask detection to check their drivers, and they may extend the scans to passengers. An Uber spokesman told the Herald that the company has already built a capability to check riders for masks in places where they are mandatory. The system involves riders who are reported by a driver to have taken a ride without a mask. They'll be asked for a selfie to confirm they are wearing one before being allowed to book another ride. According to the report, the mask detection feature will be rolled out to the US and Canada this month and then to Latin America. Have you heard of SimToPass? SmartCone Technologies is planning to launch a comprehensive biometric solution for web processes to support safe return to work, school, and play, the company has announced. Users can check themselves and family members for COVID-19 symptoms through any mobile phone, tablet, computer, or smart device with a medically recognized, researched, and proven process. Geolocation data from users is continually mapped and updated based on the position of safe, suspected, or infected people. SimToPass will be made globally available in the coming weeks and will be integrated into a COVID-19 SmartCone kiosk. This pandemic is causing fear and doubt in millions globally, notes SmartCone CEO Jason Lee. SmartCone's task force with the new back-to-work school and play process by SimToPass will give people peace of mind knowing they are taking the best precautions available to ensure safe public spaces to coexist. SimToPass will support every person to continually monitor their own health and to use their personal map to find safe spaces to visit, says Idea Capital Safe Spaces Corporation CEO Richard Harris. Businesses will identify themselves as SimToPass sites and use the SmartCone kiosk as a monitoring system to ensure they remain a safe space. Weird stuff, huh? Here's something to consider. Would these companies be investing millions or even billions of dollars in a technology that wouldn't be needed if we were ever going to return to normal? Does anybody even talk about returning to normal anymore? That happened on May 31st. We were supposed to return to normal, and now it's clear that that's maybe never going to happen in California. And so these companies, I mean, these are successful companies, are looking at the future and saying, we need to have a way to figure out who's wearing a mask so that we don't let them into buildings. So now, I mean, I feel bad because I was at Save Mart last night and there was a lady in line without a mask. I knew I should have taken her down. No, I don't really care. By the way, in case you're wondering, I do wear a mask in public just because I don't want to have a confrontation with anybody. But so now they've got some teenage kid that stands at the door and says, "Ma'am, you really need to have a mask." And of course, nobody pays attention to that sometimes. But they're talking about a system by which you'll have to stand in front of a screen at a kiosk and you won't be allowed in if you're not wearing a mask. And so this is getting really kind of invasive, if you ask me. COVID-19, not one of the pestilences we read about in the Bible. Those occurred during the Great Tribulation. Its damage is far worse than any pestilence alone, because it's preparing the world for a digital, biometric solution to everything. And pretty soon, you'll be identified by something on you. And if they don't want you in, you won't go in. If they don't want you to buy anything, you won't buy anything. And it's starting to sound a lot more like what will happen in the Great Tribulation. Now, we believe in the rapture and resurrection of the church and that it's imminent. That means it could happen at any moment. Nothing needs to happen before the Lord returns for the church, and it will happen before the tribulation. But some of this stuff has to be in place as the tribulation begins. We know that Jesus is going to come in the clouds. He'll raise the dead believers of the church age, and then we who are alive and remain will be transformed into glorified resurrection bodies, joining him and the other believers in heaven while the earth endures one final 7-year campaign, essentially of evangelism, as God is reaching out. Yes, it's through his wrath, but it's the grace of his wrath seeking to show himself to sinners that they would be saved. So the only question always is, are you ready for the rapture? If not, you need to get ready and stay ready and keep looking up, because, ready or not, Jesus is coming.